Peace, family. It's your brother Marc Lamont Hill. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your forbearance. I know it's been a tough intro tonight. For some reason, there was something going on tech wise, so I'll put that on loop so that I could reset the computer. I'm still not sure we're okay, but we're gonna be as okay as we can be. People come in later. We'll get this joint edited out so that they can see it a little more tight. They don't have to watch 50,000 times of me intro. And anyway, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. We are here tonight, as always, with a daily update on what's happening in Gaza. We are committed to covering this every single day because mainstream media will not. We're committed to giving an analysis because corporate media is simply giving talking points, right-wing talking points, Zionist talking points, occupation talking points. So, it is what it is. We're going to cover the truth. We're going to tell the truth every single day. I want to send some shouts out to people here who are Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel members. First of all, coming out the gate, Bullet the Bunny. Love you. Came out the gate with gifting 5 memberships. I hope y'all snatched up those memberships, man, because that is a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful for the constant generosity of Bullet the Bunny. Maddie stepped up with to match it too, y'all. They up here going in tonight, y'all. They going in. So whatever that mean to y'all, you know what I'm saying. If y'all somebody else want to match it, feel free, yo. That's crazy though, man. I'm so grateful, man. We got 10 memberships coming in between Maddie and Bullet the Bunny in the first couple moments. So please, y'all, snatch up those memberships. I appreciate you, Bullet the Bunny. Bullet the Bunny calling y'all out, saying other people should do it too. Yo, Maddie said I'm keeping the same energy. I appreciate it, yo. I love y'all, man. I'm so grateful for that. Montier be so positive. Montier come in like, yo, you got this. I don't know why that always makes me feel encouraged. Like I can really make this happen. Jazz in Dallas, I love you, even though you in the city from the Cowboys. My man, super anonymous from Somalia, as always. Herman Gill, shout out to you. Moneybag Kafka, that's a hell of a name right there. Moneybag Kafka, shout out to you. I appreciate you writing in. Said Mark got the computer eyebrows. People like us, and I'm I don't even know what that means, and that's funny to me. Oh man, yes, I appreciate you. Sorry, I see Bullet the Bunny was going in with the comments like round 3. Yep, your facts. I ain't gonna hold you. O. Gibbs said there was a ceasefire on October 6th. What's a good response? Pro genociders tossed that. I will talk about that. That's a great a great question. C Shada, shout out to you, y'all. We're gonna get started right now. I wanted to again, we give our shouts out to Shayla, to Karma, Hustle Crew. I love it. Moonchild salams to you. Michaela, shout out to you again. Wanda Chapman, appreciate you so much. Y'all have been so gracious, so generous, man. I'm overwhelmed by it. Pixel Tashi. Tonight, as soon as we're done, because I know I always say it's going to happen. Sometimes I'll be falling asleep. Shout out to you, Juror number 6, Shayla McKinnon. As soon as we're done this Gaza update, we're going to come right back and do a Q&A. All right, we're gonna do them back to back. So let me give y'all some quick Gaza updates. Again, thank you, Pixel. And we'll go right to Q&A, but I wanted to at least do this Gaza update so people would have it. Because a lot of things have happened today, some of which are surprising, some of which are not. Let's start with the numbers. The numbers in Gaza are still stunning. They're still moving in the wrong direction, and there's no mistake in that. At least 30,410 people have been killed so far, based on the latest death numbers from yesterday. And 71,700 people have been wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7th. The revised death toll in Israel from the October 7th attacks stands at 1,139. So 1,139 people killed in Israel, 30,410 people killed, and 71,700 wounded in Gaza. But that's not the end of the devastation. I want to give you some other numbers. I always tell you the death numbers, but I want to give you some updates, at least as of Friday, of other numbers. More than half of Gaza's homes, 360,000 residential units, have been destroyed or damaged. More than half of Gaza's homes. 392 educational facilities. That's including the 12 universities. All 12 universities have been knocked out, but that also includes public schools, private schools, primary and secondary schools knocked out. 11 out of 35 hospitals are partially functioning. I want to say that again. 11 out of 35 hospitals are partially functioning. 132 groundwater wells were damaged or destroyed. 132 groundwater wells damaged or destroyed. 267 places of worship have been destroyed. 267 places of worship. There are 2.3 million people in Gaza. That's the total population. 47% are children. 85% of the total population is internally displaced. 85%. 1.7 million of the 2.3 million are living in refugee camps. Even basic things like bakeries, 11 bakeries destroyed. It might seem like a small thing, but we're not talking about getting cupcakes. We're talking about basic needs like bread. Of that number, again, 12,300 children have been killed. More than 1% of the child population has been killed. 8,400 women have been killed. That means 2/3 of the dead population in Gaza, women and children. 8,000 people missing under the rubble. It means they're dead. It means that they're dead. It means that they're dead. When you look at all those numbers, that means that 1 out of 75 people in Gaza has been killed. 1 in 75 people in Gaza has been killed. Can you imagine? Think about your city, your town, your neighborhood, your high school, your church, whatever. Think about if you look at all the people in places, like 1 out of every 75 people is just gone, killed. This is the reality that people are dealing with in Gaza. Money Bag Kafka sends a note. And thank you for your generosity as well. Can't believe this is still going since October. Stay strong, family. Right, we're on day 149. Tomorrow is day 150. That is a ridiculously stunning number. A ridiculously stunning number. 1 out of 75 people killed. So all these numbers I'm giving you are to give you a context for today's events. The Gazan Health Ministry today announced that dozens have been killed and wounded in a horrific massacre of aid seekers at the Kuwaiti roundabout in Gaza City. So this wasn't the other death. This wasn't the hundreds of people killed with the other massacre. This is dozens of people killed today on top of the 112 people who were killed the other day at the most, to me, the most despicable massacre, the most despicable death that I've seen in recent time, even for what's happening in Gaza. But this is something different. But it's aid seekers again. People are looking for food. People are looking for water. People are looking for medicine. And they're getting killed. Dozens of people were killed. On top of that, because a lot of the talk from October 6th until maybe like 2 weeks ago was about military strikes. It was about guns and bombs. But now we also have to talk dehydration. The Gaza Health Ministry says at least 15 children have died in the past few days from malnutrition and from dehydration. In the past few days, they've died from malnutrition and dehydration at the Kamal Adwan Hospital in Gaza City. This is hours after the chief of the United Nations Children's Fund, we don't call it UNICEF, said that this could happen. They said there's acute malnutrition taking place. This is the product of the bombardment. This is the product of the siege. This is a product of the war. This is a product of what is ultimately a genocide. Because they're not just killing people, they're blocking and they're obstructing aid. They're limiting aid. They're reducing aid. They're intimidating aid. And in doing so, they're making it increasingly difficult for people to access basic needs. Let's talk a little bit about truces. Truce talks are expected to resume in Egypt on today. They were expected to. But as you may have noticed, it's now the end of Sunday and nothing was accomplished, or there was no peace talk that turned into a ceasefire. No ceasefire was created. Not a temporary one, not a permanent one. Nothing. Now, a senior Hamas official told AFP today that a ceasefire may happen in the next 24 to 48 hours. That's the good news. There could be a ceasefire in the next 24 to 48 hours if Israel accepts Hamas's demands. I don't know what they are. We'll find out. I suspect they're not crazy. And the reason I say that is because we've seen leaks of other demands made by both sides, and they both seem like they were close. Like they would, both sides would be able to manage to meet the other's needs or the other's demands. So I think that it's possible, but we'll see. A lot of it had to do with the return of all hostages, and then on from the Israeli side, return of prisoners from the Palestinian side, return of female soldiers from the Israel side. It was return of the dead bodies, and obviously a permanent or ceasefire for a protracted amount of time. That was what was sort of. Herman Gill says permanent ceasefire, temporary. There's no permanent ceasefire on the table. There's just not. There's no permanent ceasefire on the table. I don't care what anybody tells you. There's no permanent ceasefire on the table. Should there be? Absolutely. Is a temporary a permanent ceasefire will not happen right now. It should happen, and it's shameful that it won't. But based on what the U.S. is tipping its hand and suggesting, it appears that that's not on the table. That's my sense. Again, I could be wrong. Probably not wrong. I don't see it happening. I don't see anybody wanting that. I think the most important thing right now for people is that they don't want fighting through Ramadan. Hamas certainly doesn't want war through Ramadan. And I think from the Western perspective and the Israeli perspective, bombing Palestinians during Ramadan is not a good look, but it's also strategically unwise. I think that I don't see it happening. But but a permanent ceasefire for them is a recipe for allowing Hamas to stay in power. And Netanyahu has already put all of his weight, all of his voice, all of his name, all of his reputation, all of his promises on getting rid of Hamas. So while that's a ridiculous goal and an unmanageable goal, an unattainable goal, he at least doesn't look like he's trying, because he's a wartime president. And he's a wartime president because he knows the moment the war is over, or wartime prime minister, and he knows that he won't be prime minister once this war is over. And if he's not prime minister, then he's in jail. So he has an investment in keeping a doctrine and a commitment to permanent war, which is yet another reason why it's hard to see a permanent ceasefire here. Curious Star said, can we talk about Afro-Palestinians and their hyper invisibility and vulnerability with 2 levels of discrimination and genocide? That's a complicated question and conversation. We're going to have it. We can do a little bit in the Q&A, but I'd also like to do a full video on that tomorrow or the next day on Afro-Palestinians. I think a lot of people don't understand what it means to be an Afro-Palestinian in terms of who that is. I'm not claiming that I know I'm not Afro-Palestinian, but I'm talking about in the sense of not understanding even who that community is. Israel made a big announcement today. They announced that they killed a senior and major Hamas operative. That's what they said. The Israeli military says that it assassinated a senior Hamas operative in central camps of the Gaza Strip. The army said that it worked with Shin Bet, which is the internal security service, to direct an airstrike that destroyed the vehicle of Mahmoud Mohammed Abid Hez. It released a short clip of a drone shot on a vehicle at the time of the strike. Israel claims the Palestinian man was involved in raising funds for Hamas military activity and recruited new operatives to the battalion in the Zaytun neighborhood of Gaza City. And as Al Jazeera, who I'm getting this from, this story from, reported earlier, the Israeli military claims to have killed at least 113 Hamas operatives in Zaytun in intense fighting over the past 2 weeks. Now, is it possible they actually killed a Hamas operative? Absolutely. I can't say that they didn't. It's absolutely possible. It is absolutely possible that they did that. It's also possible that they're lying. And the question is, why would they lie? Well, because Israel has conducted so many strikes in civilian areas. And the only way to justify civilian strikes is to say that they're no longer protected spaces. And the only way they can no longer be protected spaces is if Hamas is all up in them. And so oftentimes, I'm not saying that they're going out saying, hey, let's kill a bunch of civilians and pretend Hamas was there. But I think they have a very loose definition of what Hamas is, a very loose definition of who's Hamas affiliated and who's a Hamas leader. And I'm not sure of the level of certainty they have to have of the intelligence to do the strike. Like, was he there? Does he live there? Is he sitting there? Is he there right at the moment you got your sights on him? Or did you just hear this is where he hangs at, so you're gonna bomb it to be safe? These are the questions that are unclear. Jubilee Whaley, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generosity and your kind words. And again, Plemic, I'm grateful. All the way from Australia, you send in love and a generous donation, and I don't take it lightly. Thank you so much, family. Another big story today, maybe the biggest, was Kamala Harris. Right? There's so much more to talk about. 9 people were killed after Israel bombed an aid truck in Deir el-Balah. Deir el-Balah is a village or a city, and there was an aid truck. Israel bombed it. At least 9 people died. We keep hearing these stories over and over and over and over and over again. People keep dying. But the truth is, this is going to happen until there's a fundamental change. And the fundamental change isn't parachuting snacks in. It's not giving 12,000 meals or however many meals it is to people, the very people who need, whose dependence on those parachuted airdropped meals is rooted in your complicity, United States. In other words, the U.S. gives Israel money to bomb Palestinians, gives Israel weapons to kill Palestinians, gives them political cover to kill Palestinians and starve them, and then drops some food in and says, oh, it's so hard to get to support these people, but we're going to take some parachutes and send some Lunchables in. And it's like, really, bro? Is that what we're doing? Anyway, I could go on and on, but I won't. But the big story, of course, is that Kamala Harris, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, gave the most words on Palestine and on Gaza that I've heard from her ever. She was giving a speech at the Pettus Bridge for commemorating Bloody Sunday. which is an extraordinary moment in Black civil rights history when Martin Luther King led people across the Pettus Bridge, Edmund Pettus Bridge in Alabama. And in her speech, she said, "What we are seeing every day in Gaza, not the United States, not Black America, but Gaza, is a tragedy." She said there must be an immediate ceasefire. When I heard that, I said, "Woo, we getting somewhere." She said there must be an immediate ceasefire. She said, then she added, for at least 6 weeks. She said, "We saw hungry, desperate people approach aid trucks simply trying to secure food for their families after weeks of nearly no aid reaching northern Gaza." She's talking about, of course, all the people in Gaza City who were killed. The 112 people were killed by Israeli troops in Gaza City. She said they were met with gunfire and chaos. "President Joe Biden and I are unwavering in our commitment to Israel's security," of course, she added. I'm going to do a whole other conversation on Kamala Harris, but even the United States is saying the killing has to stop. Even the United States is saying a ceasefire has to happen. Now, they were cowardly and milquetoast, and they stopped short, and they were dishonest, and they didn't critique Israel. There's a million things wrong with what Kamala Harris said that I'm not excusing. But at the core, even the United States knows this thing has to stop. There's a reason for that. Hopefully, these people listen. Because as much as I don't agree with a temporary ceasefire, at least a ceasefire will allow people to eat. It will stop people from dying. It'll create a little more peace and a little more possibility for creating a durable political solution. But right now, we need the bombs to stop. Right now, we need the bombs to stop. Anyway, y'all, that's my update from Gaza for the day. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button if you're a part of the YouTube universe, and hit that subscribe button so you can get regular updates. Hit the little bell so you can get notifications for when new content comes out. Hit the join button if you're so inclined. Become a member of the channel. Be part of our monthly subscription base, and help support the channel. And of course, you can always go directly to our Cash App. If you want to support the channel, just go to Cash App, hit $MLHTV, $MLHTV. And you can donate something. Right now, we got 362 people online right now. If everybody gave $2, we'd be able to build. We'd be able to build out for the week. We'd be able to build out for the week. We'd be able to create new content. We'd be able to edit content. We'd be able to pay some staff. That would be the move. So hopefully y'all can share the spread the love. And if you can't, or if you don't have the means or the resources, or just don't want to, that's cool too. Just hit the like button. It's free. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Eli Afik, whatever. And anyway, family, I'm gonna be right back up. We're going to do some Q&A. We're going to do it under a different channel title. Well, I guess we could. Y'all want to just keep it here? Is that what y'all want to do? Actually, let me not, because there's some people who may, who because of the war on Gaza title, think we're only talking Gaza. So I want it to be more broad Q&A. So I will, I'll log off. Give me 2 minutes, and we'll do Q&A. Again, I'm gonna log off. We'll jump on a new joint for Q&A. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Peace.